Welcome everyone. Today we'll be flying in business class for a little under 9 hours from Honolulu, Hawaii to Narita, Japan on ANA's iconic Honu airplane. Tokyo is one of my favorite places in the whole wide world, and ANA is one of the top ranked airlines in the whole wide world too, so I'm even more excited to share with you my experience on this flight along with all the free food and of course free alcohol that comes with it. But the journey does not start there because we have access to the ANA lounge in the Daniel K. Inouye Airport, which has to be one of, if not the best lounge that is available here in Honolulu. There's tons of seating options available, including an area where you could overlook the majestic beast that we'll be flying on today. But the real crowd pleaser is the bar that they have available to you, which has a decent amount of alcohol, including some specialty cocktails just for that lounge. Of course, you also have food options available to you as well, which include both hot food and cold food or light snacks. Today I opted for Korean rice, an acai bowl, a Japanese strawberry sandwich thing, miso soup, and their specialty cocktail, the Aloha Splash. Despite being a weird combination of food for breakfast, everything was actually pretty good. Watch out though because the acai bowl was cold, so it will give you brain freeze. Also, their specialty cocktail was good. Like dangerously good. Like I should not be drinking this at 10 a.m. so I'm gonna stop drinking that and drink my orange juice before I get a little bit too crazy on this work trip. Also, just FYI, if your Korean rice starts coming out sooner rather than later, you'll be happy to know there are bidets available at this lounge. Thankfully, before I could finish my Aloha Splash cocktail, it is time to board the plane. We will be riding in seat 10H, which will be my home for the next 9 hours. The business class seats on this A380 are in the 1-to-1 configuration. The two seats in the middle of the plane are perfect for those traveling with someone else, while the seats on the outside of the plane closest to the windows are best for those lonely solo travelers like myself. On every business class seat, you have a pile of amenities which we'll be going over shortly. So for now, let's just go ahead and throw these things off to the side. And almost immediately after throwing those amenities off to the side and taking my seat, a flight attendant personally introduced herself. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some of those items that were found on my chair. First up, we have a pair of noise cancelling headphones, which honestly I did not think I was gonna need because of the noise cancelling headphones around my neck. So I was just being a goofy little goober here until I was embarrassingly caught by one of the flight attendants with the welcome drink, which was either gonna be champagne or orange juice. And of course, since I had an Aloha Splash, maybe one too many already, I opted for the orange juice. Next up on the amenities list is probably one of my favorites, which are a pair of slippers. And with those slippers comes a shoe bag, which I guess could double up as a throw-up bag. It also does come with a shoehorn, but do people even use those anymore? One of the best feelings in the world is taking off your shoes and putting on these slippers while we get ready for takeoff. And we are now officially on our way to Japan. Now that we're at the cool 30,000 feet cruising altitude, let's go ahead and start with the seat tour. Starting with in front of you, you have two footwell sections. The bottom one is probably where you would put your shoes, which don't fit here long ways, so I would suggest maybe turning them to the side to get a little bit more room. This leaves the entire top section for your cozy little feet to go. As for your seat controls, the first button is for your lumbar support. Then you have a do not disturb button which lights up on the top of your seat behind you. Then you have a button to move your seat forward or backwards. This does not recline your seat, but just moves it forward or back. However, next to that button is where you'll find the recline seat, where your seat will go down and also recline into a bed. Then the last button on the right hand side will move your seat back up into the upright position and also slide your seat backwards. All of these business class seats also have a side table next to them, which gives you a lot of room to put stuff on. These seats also come with a clicker or remote that you could use to not only control the TV in front of you, but also call the attendant, change the volume or brightness on your screen, and also to turn on the light that is above you. But if that light isn't enough for you, you also have an adjustable reading light next to your seat, which you could turn on and off using the button located under the light itself. And if you forgot to charge your electronics before hopping on the flight, you'll be happy to know that there is an outlet with two USBs available for you to use, along with a headphone jack to connect to the TV. There's also a section for you to put literature if you did bring some sort of reading material with you on the plane. You could slide it back here. There's also a handy dandy little hanger thing to put your headphones on in case you didn't want to just leave it on the table next to you. And in between the seat and the window, you do have lots of floor space to work with. So if you have extra carry-on or a backpack that you want to leave next to you, you have more than enough room to do so. Or you could stack maybe one baby or two babies there if you really needed to do that as well. But the real estate doesn't stop there because you also have two pretty massive cubby holes for you to stick even more stuff in for storage. I also did want to point out that this seat has two windows next to you. Then in front of you, you have another hanger option. This one meant for clothes, but you could use it for headphones. No one's stopping you. And lastly, you have this massive tray table that you could pull out in front of you, which I will show you exactly how big it is as I rub my dirty hands all along the clean tray table, which I'll soon be eating off of. And speaking of eating, let's go ahead and take a look at the menu that was provided for us on this flight and see all of the free food and drinks that we have available. To be honest, I'm not a huge alcohol drinker, so to me, this list seemed exhaustive. You have sake to choose from, shochu, champagne, white wine, red wine, brandy, beer, gin and tonic, vodka, or if you're feeling extra down bad, you could even order Bombay Sapphire, which personally, I have PTSD from that gin since high school, college, but I know there's some people that actually like it. As for the food options, you can choose from the Japanese cuisine, washoku, or international cuisine. Or if you want to order more food, there are a few light snacks or light meal options to choose from that you could order after finishing your first meal. Before the meal service starts, the flight attendants walk around giving you an oshibori, which is a traditional Japanese wet cloth that you use to clean your hands before meals. Usually oshibori are heated and made from a cloth-like material, but hey, these still get the job done. Soon after, the same flight attendant comes around and starts putting a fancy tablecloth on your tray table. Not only does this give you a more elevated experience, but it also allows you to not eat off of the same tray table that you rubbed your dirty hands on before. We are then greeted with the appetizer along with the first drink of the flight, which somehow I decided that I needed more alcohol, so I decided to go with the sake option. And let me remind you that I am a lightweight, so man, is that a generous pour. That's enough sake to put me to sleep for 2 weeks straight. Enough about the alcohol because I want to talk about this appetizer. It is a cream cheese and smoked salmon roll with spam and cheddar cheese and dried tomato. First of all, smoked salmon and cream cheese is always a hit. That's why I love lox and bagels so much. But I was more impressed with the spam and cheddar cheese because spam, that mystery meat that's found in the can, who knew they could taste this good? I grew up in Hawaii, so I had spam musubis, but this was like an elevated experience, fine dining if you will. All in all, I would give this appetizer a whopping 10 out of 10. And about that sake, let's just say that I did not even come close to finishing that whole cup. With that appetizer out of the way, I was more than excited to get started on the main entree, which by the way, I chose the washoku or the Japanese cuisine for this flight. And before I talk about the food, I want to talk about just how detail-oriented the staff on this flight were. As he is preparing my meal, you could see him straighten almost every single dish found on that tray. Like, I would have been just as happy if my rice bowl was slightly crooked, but no, they pay attention to detail and want to make sure that everything looks picture perfect. And man, did this meal look good. Let's go ahead and talk about what exactly came on the Japanese cuisine meal on this flight. For the main course, we have a grilled gold-striped amberjack teriyaki with a few vegetables, miso soup, some fresh fruit, chilled poached pork with pineapple sesame dressing, simmered yuba and dried young sardines in sansho pepper sauce, pickled myoga ginger in sweet vinegar, marinated prawn in soy-based sauce, and grilled scallop with soy-based sauce. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I decided to have another alcoholic drink, which is my favorite Japanese cocktail, a lemon sour. They actually don't have a lemon sour listed as one of the cocktails on the menu, but the flight attendants were so accommodating and decided to make it for me on the spot. Hands down, my favorite part of the meal was the amberjack fish. It was so moist and flavorful with the teriyaki sauce. And this chilled pork thing with the raw onions on top was actually pretty good and refreshing. I would definitely eat that again. For an in-flight airplane meal, I would give this a rating of 8 out of 10. Halfway through my meal, the flight attendants came around and passed out Haagen-Dazs vanilla ice cream, which is one of, if not my favorite ice cream of all time, so maybe that bumped up the total meal to, let's say 9 out of 10, including the dessert. And after another round of oshibori, we were given a nice glass of sake. Just kidding, this is a much needed glass of water, along with some hot tea and a chocolate cookie. And I don't want it to look like I have low standards, but this is my favorite cookie ever. So if you've been to Hawaii, maybe you know what this is, but if you haven't been to Hawaii, you have to try this chocolate cookie the next time you come. And after all that food and drink, I think this is a perfect segue into showing you exactly what the inside of the bathroom of the business class section looks like. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but it just looks like a normal airplane bathroom. I mean, you have your seats, nothing too special about that. Okay, well, it does have a bidet feature, but I'm not sure if the other economy bathrooms have this feature as well. There's a full-length mirror, a baby changing table, some amenities like mouthwash, a face and body sheet, and toothbrush and toothpaste. The sink is pretty normal, but it is cool how it's automatic. Also, I wish all airplane bathroom trash cans were like this, where you don't have to touch the lid itself, but you open it by pressing the little lever on the bottom. Inside the bathroom, you actually have this little platform that you could fold out and use if you want to change your clothes and you don't want to step on the dirty floor with your feet. After heading back to my seat, it looks like we have just under 5 more hours to go on this flight, so almost the halfway mark. So let's take this time to go ahead and take a look at what's inside the amenity kit. The bag itself is a leather pouch designed by Globetrotter, and it comes in either this blue flavor or a white color. Inside you have earplugs, a toothbrush and toothpaste, an eye mask, lip balm from the French cosmetics brand L'Occitane, and also a set of L'Occitane body milk, which, by the way, what's the difference between body milk and lotion? Overall, it's a pretty simple and straightforward amenity kit, so let's go ahead and put that back away for now. Because before I take a nap, I want to talk about the entertainment system that comes with this business class seat. As you might expect, this seat comes with a list of popular Hollywood movies, so that way you can enjoy them throughout the flight. There is also a smaller TV section too, where you could watch some TV shows. Lastly, if you are someone that likes to shop while you're on the plane, then there is a Sky Shop available as well. And with that said, the cabin lights have dimmed, so now it is time to wind down and start making my bed and get ready for that nap. With every seat, you are given a bed set, which consists of one bed pad, a down comforter, and a pillow with 2 different sides on it, one filled with high quality down feathers and the other side made from foam. So from the bed pad to the down comforter to the pillow, ANA really put in some high quality products to make sure that you get as well of a rest that you can. And with only about 4 more hours left on this flight, I'm gonna need to take advantage of all the rest that I could get before I have to wake up again for breakfast. And after what seemed to be only 10 minutes, it was time to wake up again. So it was safe to say that I was feeling tired. But after receiving yet another oshibori and opening my tray table once again, it was finally time to eat. And despite feeling as groggy as ever, this was still like having breakfast in bed. So at the end of the day, I was still having a good time. And as for the breakfast itself, it was okay. The main dish was basically a curry-filled Hot Pocket, while the side dish was some sort of yogurt with some fruit on top. I think it's safe for me to say that of the 2 meals that I had on this flight so far, I think I preferred the former one slightly better than this one right here. Maybe I was just too tired to fully enjoy this meal, but I think I would give it a solid 5 out of 10. And with that said, we are 20 minutes away from landing as we prepare to start our descent to the land of sushi and anime. So what are my thoughts on ANA's business class product on their Honu airplane? Overall, it was a fantastic experience. This flight helped show me why ANA is ranked 3rd amongst the top airlines in the world. The seat itself is modern and will have everything that you will expect from a business class seat of this caliber. The food and drink options are more than adequate, and at least the main entree and the appetizer are delicious. And don't forget that the entertainment system itself, along with the movies that they provide, are all up to date and will keep you occupied throughout the entire flight. But last and definitely not least, I think the main thing that makes this product so special is ANA's customer service. So after such a positive experience, I know that this will not be the last time that I fly with ANA. So until that day comes, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, shoot.